What's up, everyone, and welcome to the channel Clearly Crypto, where we want to know more, grow more, and reap the benefits. So for today's video, I have some pretty interesting news for you, some global news, some US news, federal news that is, as well as some crazy and funny news here at the end. So make sure to stick through the video and get subscribed if you're not, because I come out with these daily videos to help you guys out with the cryptoverse. As I get through it, I teach you guys the things that I learned. Also make sure to follow me over on Twitter. It's where I also like to share my crypto opinion, where I like to share what I learned about reading charts, just the different things that I learn about the cryptoverse and the different things that I find out I like to share on here. So that's another place that you guys can find some pretty interesting things. Starting off with today's video. We have a pretty interesting article about Ripple. Ripple's Colombia land tokenization project halted following new government appointments. So this was pretty interesting to read. I know that I just learned maybe last week that Ripple had done a deal with Colombia about tokenizing. It was their land contracts. So a move by the previous Minister of Information Technology to record ownership rights on the blockchain is being suffocated now by new dynamics in the South American nation. So a means to end inequitable land distribution suffered during the decades-old Civil War. Didn't know about that. A publicity visible a publicly visible ledger could have ensured a solid platform for correct land allocation. So this is talking about how they had a civil war. The Civil War caused a lot of land to be unowned, and they're trying to get that land back out to the public. It talks down here, interim head of the Colombian Land Agency, saying that the project is not a priority for 2022 and is not defined in the strategic projects for the country's information technology department. It was pretty interesting to read this compared to that. You would think that decades-old Civil War issues would need to be resolved by 2022. It's pretty interesting that they're just saying that this project I'm not sure exactly why they're saying that this project doesn't help it out, considering that's exactly what this project was trying to do, is trying to distribute that land to people, which I kind of have a little thought on that myself. Let's go on with this. So a peace accord co-signed by the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia and the Colombian government in 2016 contains an agreement to redistribute land to marginalized native communities, necessitate, necessitating, sorry if I'm having trouble pronouncing that, so necessitating, I'm pretty sure, court adjudication. So I'm having trouble here. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Anybody with a stutter, that definitely helps you out. So court adjudication. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but they're talking about how this has been something since 2016. It's just something that's been happening for decades. They talked about in 2016. All of a sudden in 2022, this project that's willing to help isn't okay to help it out. These people were elected 2 weeks ago. The new president is offering an agrarian land reform where the state buys off unused or illegal used land and reallocates it to rural farmers. So down here, they were actually originally trying to allow communities to farm, and there was actually only one title deed that was added to the ledger. You can see here how far it was, where it was exactly. But you can see that the new the new people that were elected, it kind of sounds like they're trying to kind of swindle the land out from under the people and give it to who they want rather than the community using it. Because I'm not seeing a clear reason on why they're not wanting to use Ripple. Maybe it talks down here about how they're dealing with the SEC right now, but it doesn't talk about exactly this government saying that they're worried about that. It just talks about how they're going through this SEC uh, battle with Ripple. So not exactly sure. Wanted to bring this up though. I thought that was kind of a government conspiracy, if anything, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so the Colombia deal is on pause as of right now with Ripple. So moving on, we have Iran allows crypto to be used as payment for imports. This was really cool to hear about. So Iran passed regulations that would allow cryptocurrency to be used as payment for imports. The country has already conducted this on one such transaction that was reportedly worth $10 million. So this is just an idea of what can be tokenized, what kind of value can be tokenized and sent across these this digital ledger technology. So some have said that Iran is using cryptocurrencies to circumvent the sanctions imposed by the United States government, which I mean, everybody's going to say that anything involving crypto could have some illicit activity to it. So, you know, that always comes with it. But the Minister of Industry, Mine and Trade, Reza, I'm not even going to try to attempt to say that, Amin, has introduced regulations on trade sanctions with cryptocurrencies. Now listen to this. Amin said that the law was comprehensive and covered the regulation of cryptocurrencies, the supply of fuel and electricity for mining, and the authorization to use cryptocurrency. So they're saying that they're getting this regulated over there, and they're going to be able to start using it just for trade. So it's pretty crazy to hear that they're trying to start that over here. And over in the U.S., it's always something to try to halt the progress with anything like that. So Reuters has reported that 4.5% of the global Bitcoin mining was being conducted in Iran, so they do quite a bit of it. As a result, hundreds of millions of dollars has been generated for the country. So you can see how much revenue can be brought in by Bitcoin mining. This next article that I talk about talks about the negatives for it actually. So the country has passed regulation around mining, very strict rules on mining, and it has taken strong actions against illegal mining activities. I have read plenty of articles talking about over in Iran where they have had to stop quite a few illegal mining activities out there. This was pretty crazy to hear too. So the Kraken exchange is under investigation by the U.S. Treasury Department, allegedly violating sanctions. So the way that they did this is they allowed Iranian users to access its services. So they didn't block a whole country from using their services. So some of them used it, and now they're being put under investigation, and they could be in trouble for just allowing some of their people to actually use the services. So hopefully they don't get in trouble for it. That would be pretty crazy, but yeah, just wanted to throw out there. That just goes to show how they're trying to basically just trying anything that they can to halt crypto progressing. So this is the article I was talking about that kind of showed the negative about crypto mining. So Argentine province of Mendoza to accept stablecoins for tax payments. So Mendoza province will allow roughly 2 million residents to pay taxes and fees using stablecoins like Tether and DAI. That was pretty interesting to see, using their crypto wallets. So carried out by the Mendoza Tax Administration, it's going to allow these people to actually pay their taxes in crypto. So that's a big step for crypto to allow people to use cryptocurrency to pay the government. So I think that that's a big step in my eyes. The move comes 4 months after the country's capital city announced it would accept Bitcoin as payment for taxes and fees. So they've already talked about allowing Bitcoin as payments for taxes and fees. Now they're allowing two other cryptocurrencies. So not only one, but two others. That's a total of three. So that's pretty cool to hear about that. This city is just wanting to include so many different kinds for their citizens just to give them another option. This was a really nice thing to hear that that the mayor had said, the city is not going to have crypto in public accounts, but through an agreement with virtual wallets, we are going to add one more payment option to the ones we already have with the idea of making things easier, the mayor added. So this is really smart from him. Crypto must be treated carefully since he lacks good knowledge of the asset class. Some still don't understand how money is materialized. So ending with that, this just goes to show that he doesn't know everything about crypto, so he's just trying to slowly bring it into the country. And I believe that this is the way that a lot of these countries need to do it. That way they're not going to get in trouble with regulations, and that way they can definitely learn about it slowly, make sure that all their people understand it before they just go full head into it. So 4 weeks ago, Binance and MasterCard announced, if you didn't know, they have a crypto rewards card with Binance that is only available in Argentina. They were the only and first country and continent to take advantage, so that's pretty interesting to see as well. I'm gonna definitely be keeping my eye out with that to see if that starts becoming available anywhere else. And I want to see exactly how those rewards work out and if they are any good if they stay on there. So, moving on from that, we have the president of Paraguay vetoes crypto regulation law. And this was actually the one talking about the crypto mining. So very sorry, guys. That was just kind of another step for crypto in the right way. So the president of Paraguay vetoes crypto regulation law. This is talking about how they were trying to get a law passed in Paraguay to allow these miners use intensive capital with low manpower usage and therefore would not generate added value on par with industrial activity. So they were trying to allow these cryptocurrency mining as an industrial activity. So that would make it to where they could get loans, they could go out there and build a lot more of them because it's considered an industrial activity, so they would consider it as a needed thing. But as you can see here, they're worried about it not providing enough jobs for the people, so it would just be a big facility that's using a lot of power. And even down here, they talk about if Paraguay wants to intensify crypto mining today, in the next 4 years, it would be forced to import electricity. So if they were to go full head into this to where they would be making a lot of money like it's talking about up here, then they would be forced to actually look for electricity elsewhere to get it for their people. So it would make Bitcoin mining kind of like counterintuitive. It would make it to where, it's just not worth the profit to take electricity away from your people. So with that, I mean, Bitcoin mining, honestly, I see it in the future once we have all of the Bitcoins have been mined, once they're not really once everybody's not really doing it for say the money, they're doing it more to have the blockchain actually working. I can see it getting a little bit more centralized, unfortunately, becoming in certain countries wanting to build big facilities to run the Bitcoin blockchain. That way, like I said, we can keep it going as that value, as that storage of value. So yeah, this just kind of shows how it's bad for everywhere and how it just needs to stick to certain places. How these these smaller countries just don't need to mess with it, even though it does bring so much profit in my eyes. That's what I believe. So the federal piece of news that I have for you guys, don't want to take too long, so I need to speed it up a little bit, sorry. The Federal Reserve sets July 2023 date for the FedNow Instant Settlement Service launch. If you guys don't know about this, I did talk about it in my ISO 20022 video. I believe we've made quite a bit of videos now, so it's a little bit back here. This one right here, I talk all about ISO 20022. It talks about the FedNow program. One of the big problems that I have with it is that it's only really going to be launched in the United States whenever it first starts. It has over 120 organizations. Unfortunately, it includes my bank, US Bank now, Exchange Bank, and many other payment processors and solution providers. Um, so I have a problem with it not only because it's only going to be for the United States, but the whole point of ISO 20022 is for all of the globe to be on the same standard, the same messaging standard as far as banks go. So if our federal government is saying, hey, I want to make my own, we're just going to do it our own way, then that's just kind of saying, hey, screw you to the rest of the world. Yeah, we're not going with the program. And that's my problem with the FedNow. It just seems like it's a way for them to. I mean, listen to this. The Fed said the businesses and individuals will be able to receive payments instantly at any time and have full access to funds immediately. This, they say, will help them manage their money better and make time-sensitive payments. If you don't know ISO 20022, that's going to be starting in November. That's whenever these other banking institutions like the whole CHIP organization, if you don't know about CHIP, it's a huge banking organization. Go and check them out. I talked about that on my video as well. But I mean, they're going to be starting in November with the ISO 20022. It's going to be using cryptos like Ripple. Ripple's on the World Economic Forum page now. They're actually endorsing them, saying we believe in Ripple as a way to fix this as a solution to the world. And we're going in here and saying, hey, we have a different way to do it that we're just going to do, and we're going to start it a lot later. And that just baffles me. All right, so I don't want to get on too much of a rant on that. Just wanted to show you guys that our government is delaying things a little bit longer with our systems. So there are chip organizations that in the United States that are going to be on the ISO 20022, but a lot of them are going to be over on the FedNow service, from what I understand. Just because, since it's the Federal Reserve, they're going to consider it as a regulated program. Most banks won't have to worry as much, so they're going to probably want to have to go over there. It's just the man controlling that. So moving on from that, don't want to keep you guys down about crypto. This is the crazy news that I want to bring up to you guys. So the DEX accidentally hits kill switch on mainnet, locking 660,000 USDC inside. So all they did is they unwittingly executed a command that closed its mainnet and made it irrecoverable. The development team was trying to update its code on Monday. The program incident also locked up 660,000. Oh, well, that says what it says up there. That's 660,000 USDC. They're talking about how a lot of it was from the team members, and they are pledging to compensate the users, even though it was lost by error. This is a ramification of the Solana program close command. So apparently, Solana not only goes down a lot, but they have some pretty crazy features that allow their programs to be shut down instantly and permanently and pretty easily. So here in turn, this is by the Solana core developer confirmed the TeamSphere, and let's see. So this is, I believe, by the same, yeah, by the same team. Here it turned out that we didn't really understand the impact and risk of the closing program command line. So they're saying that they didn't understand what they were doing there. They don't fully understand Solana programming. So they didn't understand the risk of closing program command line. Solana program close is actually for closing the program permanently and sending the SOL tokens to the buffer account used by the program back to the recipient wallet. So that was pretty crazy, that they're like, hey, yeah, Solana program close is actually to close it. It was pretty crazy that they didn't understand that from the get-go. And then they've also had to, they called the Solana development community to explore a two-step confirmation when running the Solana program close. So that was pretty crazy that they actually had to bring up that there needs to be, hey, are you sure you want to close down your program permanently? Yeah, they definitely need to make sure to have that button, especially with how many issues Solana already has they have enough people laughing at them. They don't need this adding on to that fact. So the last piece of news that I have here for you guys, thank you guys so much for sticking around, those of you that have. This last one is really funny. I'm sure that's going to give you a little chuckle here. Crypto.com has sent a woman $10.4 million by mistake and now wants it back. I saw this on CNBC News this morning. It was pretty crazy to see that on there. As I was reading it, the article came out a little bit before it was even on there. So it was pretty cool seeing it on national news. And Crypto.com, as it's set up here, the mishap left a customer with more than $10 million. It was an Australian woman who received the money, known as, and I'm not going to destroy her name out of respect to her. According to them, she had actually been expecting a refund of $100 back in May. So it was May 2021. They were supposed to give her $100, and because somebody had mistakenly filled in her phone number instead of putting $100, that's how she got the 10 million. So I guess it kind of auto-corrected the phone number down to the highest possible amount, that 10 million, and that's how she got it, I suppose, because, I mean, let's see, a phone number would be 9 digits, so that would make it about, that would be 1,000, that would be, I mean, if it was all nines, that'd be 999,999,999. So yeah, if they put in all those numbers, especially accounting for country code and everything, it probably defaulted down to the maximum amount that it could have sent out to somebody. And it's pretty crazy that they have that as an option without it giving some kind of warning. So not only Solana, but Crypto.com definitely needs to look into a "Are you sure" feature whenever they're doing serious refunds like $10 million. So the company realized the mistake a good 7 months later. So not only the fact that there wasn't something, to tell this person, hey, you're doing something wrong, but it took them 7 months to figure out that something was wrong. And it was through an audit that was carried out at the end of the year to actually uncover it. So the lady had not notified the crypto exchange of the error and went on to spend the money. Honestly, if it was me, I would probably do the same thing. I mean, you're expecting $100, you get $10 million, and then I mean, I wonder how long she actually waited to transfer any of it out. So, I mean, if she waited like a month or so for Crypto.com to contact her and then she started doing stuff, I honestly really, really don't blame her one bit. But, if she kind of just went on a spending spree as soon as it got into there, yeah, she's kind of at fault a little bit there. So most of the money was gone and transferred out to different accounts, of course. So further digging uncovered that she had actually sent $430,000 to her daughter's account, so that was pretty nice of her. And also purchased a $1.35 million luxury 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. So she made it out nice with all of this. The house has been transferred to her sister because she's smart, who resides in Malaysia. So she doesn't own the house, so she can't. So Crypto.com can't go after her for the house. She had removed $10.1 million from the account, and there was only a small portion left in there. So she did leave some for him. I mean, if anything, I'm sure she still had the $100 in the account. If they wanted to reverse that refund, reverse the original refund, that is. So Crypto.com efforts to get her to pay back have been futile. I can completely understand on that. She's not going to be able to pay that back if she spent it all. I mean, I'm sure she's not out there investing it in things that build her a bunch of passive income. So they have gone after her sister. After her sister failed to show up for court, of course, she's not going to want to come into court for all of that. I'm sure that she was really scared to get yelled at for $10 million by a country. Basically a country, because it's like the whole country backing Crypto.com, I'm sure. So the judge ordered the luxury home be sold, and that the sister should pay back, or not the sister, No, yeah, the sister here. Yeah. So the sister should pay back the crypto exchange $1.35 million with an interest of $27,369. So they want this sister to not only sell the house, they want her to pay back the full amount, even if it doesn't sell for that amount. And then they also want her to pay interest on top of it. So I'm sure she's pretty mad at her family member right now. It's pretty crazy what she's having to go through just to help out her sister and kind of swindling a deal under Crypto.com's nose. It was pretty smart of her to put it in her sister's name, but it did cause a lot more problems here. So the judge maintains that the sister could always dispute this to settle aside the default judgment. Not sure exactly what that means, but there's no mention about where the original lady is and if Crypto.com hasn't even been able to get a hold of her. So they've talked about freezing her account, but now that most of the money is already gone, I'm sure it wouldn't matter if they did freeze her account. I'm sure she's not even trying to use her Crypto.com account now that she knows that they're looking for her. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I hope that you've enjoyed all the news. I hope that's been quite informative. That's given you a little bit of chuckle, and it has definitely opened your eyes to make sure to keep your crypto safe. As for that Solana one there, it definitely makes you think about where you're putting your money. That you want to put it in some definitely backed projects, some well-known projects and projects that you can fully trust the team to not just accidentally shut it down permanently. But yeah, I hope this has helped out. Make sure to get subscribed if you're not. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.